Fake news and conspiracy theories is the topic of today's episode. Hello and welcome to Sono Sound, a new episode, and I'm your host Michael Secen, and today we're going to talk about fake news and conspiracy theories. I know, a hard topic, but I'll try and tackle it. So if you want to see other episodes that I made, you can visit our webpage. The link is in the podcast description. And there you can also find all the other links of things and places and theories and content I'm mentioning in this podcast and maybe even more. Please, you contact me. You can contact me through our webpage. Subscribe, like, and tell others about this podcast. So, today we're going to talk about fake news and conspiracy theories, and believe me, it's not an easy topic and there are not straightforward answers. However, there are some guidelines that can be very helpful and that were very helpful to me, so that's the reason why I wanted to share this with you. It's really hard to know what is real anymore nowadays. And what makes it harder is that conspiracies and fake news actually are based on some truths. For example, institutions and people have agendas. There is a desire for power and influence. Wealthy people do exploit other people. Politicians work hard to control narratives and spin information. So we are living in a world where there is more information than ever. This podcast gives you some guidelines, what you can do when you're not sure if you should trust some content. And don't believe me. And I know I'm undermining myself, but you can check whatever I said, check it online, do your own research, because maybe I'm wrong. As I said, the links will be in the description, and you can use those links or don't use them. It's your decision to trust me or not. So let's talk a little bit about social media. We are tempted to say that social media is bad because there are so many things that are happening there that are very questionable. There is information and content being shared on there that is also very questionable. But, we can't say that social media is just bad because that's not true. In many ways, all the social media and the internet in general made it possible for many people who are under control, who are controlled. Public media is often controlled by politicians, by people who have influence, like the wealthy people we mentioned. And the information we get is maybe not completely true or totally untrue. And sometimes the right information can't even come to some people, like some countries that I don't have to name. You probably know. So when the media is controlled, this is a good way where reporters that can't really share the truth can share the truth with the wider public. The other side of the story are actually algorithms. That's something that's very present today, this topic of algorithms. The thing is that algorithms work in a way where they're actually pushing the content that actually has the most clicks, where people get engaged, and this engagement of people and people reading it is selling advertisement. Unfortunately, this is also how the media, like the established media that exists for many years and is trying to do serious journalism, it's affected by this algorithms and by the new world where printed materials are not sold anymore. So they have to find new ways of making money and surviving. So we have something that is called sensationalism, and many headlines are actually very sensationalist. Some are actually showing you right away what the content is about, and some are rather not, because they're sensationalist to draw your attention, but then it still might be a good article. But all they need is for you to make the click. So let us talk a little bit about conspiracy theory. Why did I want to talk about conspiracy theories? Because I learned that they're very often going hand in hand. They're very much connected. Conspiracy theories are often used to prove some points. The thing with conspiracy theories is that those who research conspiracy theories, like, for example, Roland Imhoff, I'm actually going to share with you his definition of a conspiracy theory, who is a researcher of conspiracy theories from the Johannes Gutenberg University of Mainz in Germany. He says that conspiracies, and I heard it also and read it in other places and other researchers, that conspiracies start to exist in crisis. They come up when there is a crisis, like the crisis we're in right now. The reason they're coming up is because we have this need to make sense of the world, to make sense of what is happening around us, and also to get a sense of control. The thing is that if someone caused whatever is happening around us, then we are much closer to the solution, because we can put this institution, this person, or whoever we are talking about they have the solution. They can solve this problem. On the other side, it gives us a sense of self-confidence, because we have this exclusive knowledge and we are not part of this naive masses that don't know the truth. By belonging to those who have this exclusive knowledge, we gain the sense of belonging. So, how does Roland Imhoff define conspiracy theory, although he said it's very hard to define? He defines conspiracy theory as the assumption that an event of some magnitude is casually linked to the secret plan of a few individuals who seek to benefit at the expense of the public. So let us go a little bit back, although this is very connected, but I want to share with you some guidelines that can help you if you would like to see if something is fake news, which is connected to conspiracy theories, but I'm gonna talk about conspiracies later on separately. Analyze the media you're following critically. That means that you need to check who owns the media, who is behind this media that you are following. Often, there are politicians or owners of big companies who actually want to push some ideas for some reason, because for them it helps them to do whatever they're trying to push. Does this media house have a fact checker board, so a board that actually checks the facts, or does it have clear guidelines about how the reporters have to behave when it comes to facts? Is there a date and a name of the author? That's very, very important. A date meaning the date when it was published. If there is a name of the author, click on the author. Check other articles this author wrote. Is it the article or any content that you're watching, listening to, or reading? Is it original reporting? Did this person do his or her own research? Or is it a lot of citing? Are the quotes, when they're quoting people they're interviewing or talking about, are the quotes direct or paraphrased? Is the headline sensationalistic? But even if it is, this is not necessarily a sign that something is wrong with this article, because headlines are also often editorial parts of the work. So editors would change the headline to sell this article better. And that doesn't mean necessarily that the article is bad or is fake news or whatever. Another alarm can go off if the article is trying to sell something which is connected to whatever they're talking about. And one thing I would like to suggest is that there are fact-checking organizations nowadays all over the world, in so many countries, that are actually doing the work for you. So you can go visit their pages and check out what they already checked. And I think that you can even send something to them and ask them if they can check or if they have any information on whatever you found. You also have some public media, like I know in Europe there is Deutsche Welle and there is France 24, that even have special parts of their program or on their web pages where they're checking some headlines, some news, some information that is being spread on the internet. So you can even check there and see what they're saying. And let us go to conspiracies and what we can look for when we see something that sounds like a conspiracy. Check the source. Who said it? When was it said? Where was it said? Was it written or published by a public media, or did I read it and see it on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media? Another thing that kind of shows me that something is wrong is when there is no coincidence. Everything is very predictable and controlled. This is a pretty big red light. Everything is somehow connected and intertwined. They're often in conspiracies, or maybe better to say people who are making conspiracies or sharing them, they're logical contradictions. I found this example of Princess Diana, where the same people said that Princess Diana was killed by secret agents, and in another article they wrote about how she's still alive. Another thing that is a trick of conspiracies is that they will just point out who is behind all this, who benefits from this circumstance, and this is taken as the biggest evidence. There is often no other evidence. Does the producer or the producers of this conspiracy, of this narrative, Do they benefit from it? There is pretty well-known conspiracy theorist from the States, but I won't name him now. And he not only spreads conspiracy theory, but he also sells nutrition supplements, security technology, and survival equipment, and makes a lot of money through this. So he has a direct benefit from these conspiracy theories to make money. So these are some guidelines for fake news and conspiracy theories and how you can check them yourself. How can you talk to someone if someone from your family comes with a conspiracy theory or something you already found out is fake news? Don't try to persuade them to change their belief. In my experience, trying to convince someone with my own arguments, it rarely worked. It really rarely worked. I need to put in a lot of work to convince someone. And I believe that even now, if you think that what I'm saying is you don't believe it, you won't believe it. I can't give you the right arguments if you are a strong believer in something else than I'm saying. What you want to do when you talk to people that you disagree with or think that they believe in conspiracies, just acknowledge the reason why they are believing in these theories or some news that are not proven. So connect to that fear, to that insecurity I mentioned. You don't have to acknowledge the facts. You don't have to agree to the facts, but you can connect to the person. You can also, after you connect to the person, you can share your own beliefs in a way where you're saying, you see, I hear what you're saying, but I personally believe this and that. And I believe it because of this and this. And don't think that you are not prone to conspiracies. And, I also believed in some conspiracies and in some information that I thought is true, and it turned out it's not. So remember what I said. I didn't share this part. And it's about, I think we need to keep the stance that science has. That's the difference between conspiracies and science or proof. There are no absolute truths. There are only plausibilities and empirical confirmations of varying degrees. So I think with every theory, I have to be careful what I believe because there is no absolute truth. And something I believe in today can change tomorrow because I gain new information every day and I learn and I grow. So I'm also prone to conspiracy theories and fake news, and I experienced it myself where I was really quick on sharing some things. Why? Because I was so excited that some belief I had, something I really trusted, someone had the same opinion, and it was so acknowledging to what I was believing. So I shared it, and I'm kind of sorry about some things, but we do make mistakes, so I'm only human. What I want to finish with is it's not easy. I know it's a lot of work that I have to put into seeing if something is really true, if something is believable, if I can trust something that I find, read, hear, watch. I have to decide what to trust. And it takes a lot of time that we often don't have. We live in a world where everything is very fast, and I have to make my decisions fast, and there is so much to read and go through. So I sometimes just don't want to bother. So here I want to remind you that there already are organizations who do this professionally, and I don't have to do all the work myself. But it's worth it if something is really important, if something can be dangerous to believe in. Let's just check it out. Let's try and do some research ourselves with the guidelines that I shared. But don't believe me. Check it out for yourself. Do your own research. So thank you so much for being with me today. I remind you that the link for our webpage is in the podcast description. Go there, you will find the links of what I have mentioned here and what I talked about here. You can find the contact link, contact me, write about what you think, how you like it. Like, subscribe, leave us a review on iTunes. Leave us. I'm talking to me in plural. Okay, leave me a review and share with others. So hope to see you soon when it's time for Sono Sound.